I'm Danny Brewster. I have a company or a group of companies that sit under the AAO brand, which stands for Against All Odds. I'm going to hopefully try and help inspire other people to build in this crazy space. If I can do it, literally anybody can. So, responsible for 3 companies and 3 brands. We got Fast Bitcoins, Freehold, and we're launching a new one called 21. Just want a quick shout out to Mo Levin at the back. So 9 years ago, that was me on a stage in Amsterdam talking about Bitcoin. And as Mo just pointed out, there was more people in the bathroom at this event than there was at their entire event in 2013. How the world has changed. So yeah, it's great to be back, and the entire space has moved so much, so far. We've got these amazing events, but it's still so early, and there is still so many opportunities to be had. So back at that event in 2013, I pitched this idea for a Bitcoin bank or a physical location where you could go and buy a Bitcoin and a payment system called B. The entire company was called NeonB. So it's for those that have been around long enough know that this exploded in a great ball of fire. My name and reputation got dragged through the mud. So I've literally had to build back from that. So a little bit about the company. It was based in Cyprus. We raised some funds, stupidly, from within the Bitcoin industry and the Bitcoin community. So we built this beautiful store. It was a real place where you could actually go in and talk and learn about Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin. It was on the front cover of Why Bitcoin, which is David Bailey's first Bitcoin magazine venture. Sadly, it went to print and then collapsed in a great ball of fire. And I used to look much younger. I blame Bitcoin. So between 2014 and 2017, I left Cyprus for 5 days. I ended up with a European arrest warrant, Interpol red notice. It took them a year from that being issued to arresting me. I spent one night in Her Majesty's prison at Wandsworth. I shared a cell with an armed robber from Portugal that was being extradited back to Portugal for armed robbery. And as a result of my bail conditions, I had that beautiful ankle bracelet for 3 months to make sure that I wasn't leaving the UK. I actually didn't do any of the things that I was accused of. It was insane, and it took 11 months of extradition hearings and backwards and forwards between my home up in Lincolnshire, rural Lincolnshire, and Westminster magistrates, where I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the Julian Assange case. That's where that was all dealt with in London. So yeah, I spent best part of a year on bail, just trying to fight the extradition. Then out of nowhere, they dropped it. During the whole process, I'd received offers to sign over all of the assets of everything that we'd created in Cyprus to the 5 people that was making the accusations for all of it to go away. I didn't, but what I did do was I took the opportunity to build, and I started building Fast Bitcoins, retaught myself how to write code, and developed the first concept that was Fast Bitcoins. And as a result of everything getting dropped and all this negative media about me in the Bitcoin space and linked to fraud and financial crime, everywhere I go now, every time I go through due diligence with any type of institution, be that a lawyer, a regulator, a banking partner, a payments platform, I have this file that is literally called notacriminal.pdf, and it details everything that happened, and it's basically capped off with a letter from the Attorney General's office in Cyprus, basically stating the accusations was false and it was all the case was closed and there was no further action. So to this day, I've never even been charged with a criminal offence, let alone being convicted of one, despite what everything in the media was saying at the time. One of the best things that I have done that kind of went a little bit of a way to repairing some goodwill within the Bitcoin community was when that fella, Craig Wrong, started threatening all of the Bitcoin developers, and in his attempt to have the 1FX coins fought to him. This is still like an ongoing issue, but I took the opportunity as a Mt. Gox creditor to put them on notice that I have an interest in those coins. And the feedback that happened from that was great, and it went quite a way to repairing some old relationships. So now we're building a growing team. Like I say, I took the opportunity of being like shunned from the community and like having to stay quiet for the best part of 3 years to build fast Bitcoins. That team is now growing. That's actually out of date. We're coming up to 53 people fully employed across 3 offices. And we're growing at an amazing rate, some amazingly talented people in the team. In fact, we've got a young author, a guy, he's running around this event with a camera. He's just launched a book called Do Bitcoin. I think everybody should go and buy that. His name's Angelo, by the way. So just to recap over the brands. So we've got Fast Bitcoins. That's where I started building it whilst I was on bail in my loft. No fancy offices, no nothing, just hard iterations of code. So we was Bitcoin only from the beginning, absolute no shit coins. We was the first platform in the world to have Lightning payments, so our customers could buy from us and receive their funds on Lightning. We was the first in the world at 2018 with that. We had a cash-based system where we developed a POS device so people could take cash into merchants and buy a little bit of Bitcoin. And we were operational across the UK, the European Union, Canada, and Australia. We have recently, or we're in the process of launching Freehold.capital. And basically, this is for the rich guys, our bespoke service. So high net worth individuals, family offices, corporations. But the biggest component for me for Freehold is the education aspect, because all of these rich people have been missold garbage for years. And we've got a strong educational component where we have to roll back what they think they know and then re-educate them because they've been misguided or ill-informed, or they've just read sales materials as educational materials. So we're trying to speak to the individuals that make up these corporations to educate them on Bitcoin, and then we can give them a platform to actually buy and then ultimately custody Bitcoin. And the latest one is we moved the business to an island. I can't say which because having a bit of a fight. But it's between Ireland and the UK. So we have launched 21, or we're launching 21, and we couldn't get a bank account. So we're builders, we have to fix that problem. So we also realized at the time that lots of people was having the same issue. The biggest headache that I had with NeonB was having to run around Europe doing cash trades to bring euros back to Cyprus so we could pay people in cash because we couldn't get a bank account. And it's still very, very much the same unless you want to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of euros or pounds to get an account. So we've built our own, and we understand Bitcoin businesses, and we will give people discounts if they're building a Bitcoin-only business. We can work with crypto companies, but we charge a shitcoin tax. So people should be free to be stupid, and we'll let them do that, but we will charge them a tax for it because I have to sleep at night, and that's the only way I can do it, if I charge them more. So basically, we can start to provide Bitcoin businesses, if they've got their shit together, with a solid foundation where they know that their account isn't going to be rug pulled from underneath them going forward. And it's this bridge between the old system and the new system that is obviously going to be Bitcoin into the future. So we're taking this approach of working with any B2B, or any business, I should say, sorry. Whether you're opening a cafe, you don't have to have any idea what Bitcoin is, or a car dealership. You can do any business and we can talk to you, so long as it's legal and I'm not going to jail for it. So we want to be able to introduce people to Bitcoin in that sense. It's much easier for us to sell and market and advertise 21 as a business. We don't have to deal with like Facebook and all the social media, Google adverts and things like that. It's much easier to sell a competitor to Revolut or Monzo business or Starling business or any of the larger traditional banks. So that's what we're doing going forward. We're looking to potentially grow our team by another 150 people over the next 18 months in the UK and in Ireland. And that's me done. So basically, what my message is Bitcoin will hammer you. It can drag you through the mud, but it is a journey well worth taking. And if you're interested in building a business, come and talk to me or any of my team. We will happily discuss providing you with fiat rails to help along the way. We've got quite a bit of experience as well. Not all great, but we should never hide from that. So yeah, any questions from the audience? Or have I managed to wrap it up quickly? I've got 5 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes. So no questions. I'm happy to go to the bar. Oh, Giacomo. We don't. Unfortunately, when they brought the fifth money laundering directive in, I've had 34 years of jail hanging over my head for money laundering, and I know that. So we took actually the fifth money laundering directive came into effect during COVID. So we rebuilt everything and created customer accounts where we had to do the KYC, onboarding, things like that. If there is a better solution, I don't fully agree with Azteco's approach. But all the best of luck to them. I hope it stands up because we do need the ability to be able to use Bitcoin freely as well. And there are issues with KYC, massive issues, as we're finding out in the world now, that this gathering of data isn't great. And it also just kicks off a whole bunch of risk when it comes to identity theft, which is now the biggest issue facing Bitcoin exchanges, is people opening accounts using stolen credentials. One thing that we have done is we moved slightly away from the cash-based system, and we started using electronic payments, so bank transfers, card payments and things, and you kind of do need to know who you're doing business with, because otherwise fraud losses would be through the roof in those instances. So, good question. Any more? Awesome. I think that's me done. Cheers.